What's up guys, Kong the DJ here, and welcome to my remix breakdown. So, in 2025, which was not so long ago, I remixed Bad Bunny's DTMF. I got a lot of great feedback from it, so I thought it'd only be right to do a breakdown, show you guys what's under the hood, and find out how we made this thing. So I don't normally do this. This is my first time doing this for YouTube. We'll see how it goes, and let's dive in. All right, we're going to kick this off with the intro. And I'll start off by talking about the stems. I stemmed this out in Logic Pro, and the reason I stemmed this out in Logic is because at this very moment in time, as I'm making this video, in my opinion, Logic has the best stem separation. They're clean. There's not as much fuzz on the stems. So I like to bring my stems from Logic Pro into Ableton because Ableton is where I do 80% of my work. I like working in Ableton. That's where I have my bells and whistles. That's where I do majority of my work. So I'm more of an Ableton user. So that being said, I started chopping up some of the stems right here for the intro. So what you're hearing is the lead, which is the pad and pluck. And then this vocal chop here, I have a clean version and dirty version. All right, just to start building that momentum. And then of course, in the drums, okay, these are tech house drums. All right, so the reason I wanted tech house drums because right now in the clubs, tech house is the sound, right? I want these records to be played, so I want this to flow in sets and, you know, hopefully be part of the primetime set. So I wanted to have that tech house bounce. This is a very, very simple an intro right here. Kick, clap, open hi-hat, and some tops percussion to just give it that bounce. Okay, so that's our intro. And as we move on to the second part of the intro here, what we're hearing now is the Reese bass that's also from the DTMF record. And of course that same pad again, just completely played out. And the reason I chose to do it this way is because I kind of wanted to keep the identity of the record. At the time when this came out, it was still fairly new. And I wanted people to recognize the song. So when my remix wouldn't deviate from that too much, especially since they didn't recognize it. So that was my choosing behind that. And plus I thought it was great, and I thought it was great for house. This genre here. So while that's playing, I added a sub to it to play along with those two sounds. And of course, drums again, still minimal. We're still building towards the verse. And a few vocal chops in there as well. Okay, so once we get to the verse here, and we'll loop that real quick. Once we get to the verse, I'll swing this in here. I drop the drums out. All right, and the reason I drop out the drums is so that we can focus now on the vocal and the lyrics and give that point of the song that attention and that space. Okay, so that's the main doing there.
Un día tú que estás caminando, yo estoy que choco. Estoy bien loco, estoy bien loco. Vamos a disfrutar que nunca se sabe si nos queda poco.
Of course. And now we're gonna go into the build. And that's where I start to change the song. Okay, I bring in these chords here, and this is a loop that I found on Splice. I did a few chops to it, but it went so well with the pad and plucks here. Normally I don't like to take a loop and then just drop it onto a track. I like to get a little more creative with it, but sometimes when things work, they work. And I try not to overthink things either. So what I added to this in these chords, just a little effect tricks, some endless smile to help with the transition and help with the sweep. Of course, some kickstart and track spacer. Track spacer, love track spacer, especially in the mix when I'm starting to do the mix. If you haven't used track spacer, it's a great tool. Definitely look it up. It is a game changer when mixing records. So anyway, as this sweeps, I'm gonna say that a lot of the heavy lifting in this remix is done by those chords now. What you're hearing is I took those chords and I chopped them up and created my own melody with those chords. So I'll solo those out for you guys. That's the main driver of the drop right here. So this is a simple one. Not a whole lot of sounds in this, but even though I didn't use a whole lot of sounds, it sounds good because I feel like everything has its own space. And being that this record is kind of airy, it kind of works. And I think that's the main message of this remix, that, you know, whatever works, works. So, if that sounds right. So, playing the drop here. I rounded out with an 808. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Give it that bounce. The little chop here is just a little sample, a little bass shot that I like to put in. I like throwing things in there just to kind of give it a change, a little surprise, a little sense of unexpectedness. So, and then now in the drums. Of course, more energy than the intro, more percussion, and I have to say that I would give a lot of credit to the excitement on these trap A's. I love trap A's. If you remember music from 2014 to like 2016, trap A's were a vibe. They were very popular. I brought this back into this remix for the nostalgia of it, and it does add a little excitement. It sounds like, you know, someone hyping up your own record, deep into the cut of the record, because they're not up front, so you don't really hear them unless you're hearing the drum solo here like this. And another sound I have in there that you probably won't hear is I like to bring in Foley into my drums, and this is just chia seeds, so it sounds like a little sweep. And I pretty much use it like that, as a sweep. So as you play it in the drums, barely hear it, but it's just little things like that I like to put in there to add like texture and ear candy. So now playing this fully out. All right, so that's my breakdown there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can definitely drop it in the comments. This is my first time making a breakdown like this. I would probably want to start doing some more. So yeah, stay tuned.